Yo.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 5 of the Pretty Good Podcast.
Wait. I don't think they heard us. Give us a round of applause if you're excited for episode 5 of the Pretty Good Podcast. Thank you. Let's hear it for the Zenu Boys.
Is this like the 5-minute applause sound effect?
The original dry voice.
All right, and we've also recently, we said we were going to celebrate when we hit 1,000 views on anything. We were at like 1.1 thousand views on the original.
This is what it feels like at the top, guys. Remember this.
Hey, celebratory shot for 1,000 views on Spartan versus Ninja.
Yeah, and
only-
episode 5.
It's only up from here. Craig, gotta hit your thing. Nice.
You know, this tastes pretty good.
Lemony, not too
Come on, when it coughs, I drink water.
Woo! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We have had a really busy couple weeks and really strange couple weeks, and we've been out of studio for a little bit. We're
Yeah,
back.
there's been a lot.
Yeah, we recorded today the IRA versus Taliban, and then the hammer comes down now. It is no Deadliest Warrior talk.
Yeah.
Well, actually, let's amend that. Dan has a very important story that I think should supersede everything. So that way we can cut the Deadliest Warrior off at the beginning. After that, none. But Dan,
I agree with that. I like that.
It's fair since I'm usually the one to break this rule with Deadliest Warrior anyways, but this is the Deadliest Warrior verse breaching into my reality as a student.
Something I like to call brain poisoning.
Hold up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Lucas, joined by everyone.
Dan Martin,
Craig Taylor.
Brandon Scholar.
Lucas.
2 Lucases on this one. All right, Dan, continue.
All right. So if you have watched this show or Deadliest Warrior podcast at all, you are probably familiar with our intelligence exploits on yumpoo.com as a
check
source
out-
of information.
Check out Deadliest Warrior episode 2 of the podcast.
For the most recent.
Yumpoo.com. delicious shit.com.
If you are unfamiliar with what Yumpoo is, it is
crap.com.
it is essentially, at least to my understanding, it's like a UK based like web service for articles on. Do they do academic journals at all?
Tastyfeces.com.
Well, the article I saw was the opposite of academic, so I don't think so.
So I'm currently a full-time student right now, and a little while ago, my physics teacher decided to give us an assignment where we had to do like a little 1-page essay on one of the articles provided on a list. And so a lot of it was very, very general, like aerospace journals, academic sources, stuff like that. Pretty far down the list was all things space, I believe. Everything about something like that. And the link was to Yumpoo. And
it Yumpoo.
I just about lost my shit when I saw that.
Yeah.
Yumpoo.com.
You should ask, can I do a write-up on a different article from Yumpoo about Deadliest Warrior? Deadliest Warrior premiered the same audience as the Super Bowl.
There were a lot of articles to choose from. Yumpoo is like a paid service, so I'm pretty sure my professor just like stole this article anyways or something, but there were a lot to choose from. You can bet your ass I picked the Yumpoo article.
Yeah.
They need to send Snake Blocker to space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Blocker.
Space Blocker.
We are banning all Deadliest
All right.
Warrior talk.
Hammer
except
down.
for this
Now-
t-shirt.
we need a hammer down sound effect, Brendan, for when the gates of Deadliest Warrior close and we cannot return.
Well, we'll get the gate.
I
this
will
time.
try to
We can
find
move
one.
on.
Yeah.
I'll put a gate sound in there.
So yeah, we've actually not recorded in like 3 weeks, I don't think.
In those 3 weeks, though, we had, everyone heard the story about your bachelor party, and now we had your wedding, your second wedding.
I was finally able to have my wedding that I was supposed to have last year, but didn't happen because of COVID. And I think you guys were all there, and I think we all had a really good time. Maybe I'll have to send Craig over some photos. We do have like a photo booth. I had a photo booth at the wedding, and the 4 of us got into it, and we got a few pictures together in there. So
Yeah, we can slap one. You do that every time. You look at Craig, and I edit this damn podcast.
oh, you edit this one? Well,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't. Those of us who don't get our hands dirty in the Adobe, we're just clueless as to the way the world works.
So we get, we're showing up to your wedding, and it's in the middle of like ass nowhere. Like it is, I'm driving down this highway, and there's just, fields on each side. There's cows grazing, and I'm like, dude, where are we? And then
there are parts of Pennsylvania that are considered the Deep South.
oh yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're like just rural. The name for it up here is Pennsyltucky. Like,
Yeah.
that's what people call it.
So I'm driving, boom, out of nowhere comes this like 1 square mile town with like a hotel in it, like, a Sheetz, our gas station that sells food, like, and then an Applebee's and like a Wendy's.
Oh, yeah.
And we get there the day early.
Whole town.
And so we had like a small group that got there like a day early. We had like 15 people, and we started partying a little bit.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we shut down the Applebee's in Pennsyltucky.
I'll have to send Craig the picture we took of all of us with The Rock. We met Dwayne The Rock Johnson at the Applebee's and got a picture with him.
Yeah, he was there. He was in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania.
I'll send you the picture.
And then our friend RJ ate absolute shit trying to walk back.
Yep.
And broke his ankle.
Arj, we know you're listening, buddy. I hope your ankle's not blue and red anymore.
We had a good time though.
Yeah, no, I had a lot to drink. I'm not someone who's gonna be like, oh, I drink. I really drank like a lot though, and I went to bed pretty well. Your new father recommended me some good beers.
Yeah, my father-in-law sells beer for a living, so he's always got the hookup, and he was in charge of getting the alcohol for the open bar, and he took me into the garage like that earlier that week and showed me the stash he had. And I don't think anybody's ever had a more like diverse collection of like alcohol. He's like, all right, so this is the sipping vodka and this is the mixing vodka. And
he like pulls a book from a bookshelf and
yeah, his whole garage was just like wall to wall with beer and liquor, and I was like, damn.
Yeah. And shout out to last episode. I saw him at the after party in like the one room.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Can I get you something?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I got that like General Braddock. I really like that. I drank that." And he's like, "General Braddock, you'll like this." And I was like, "Thank you." And I really did like it. So
he is a beer whisperer.
Can I get you something? Yeah, just some water would be great.
Yeah, right.
Your finest milk.
I know. I was at that point where I had to get people to go up to the open bar for me, and I'm like, guys, can you? They're not going to give me another one.
Yeah.
I had that the first night that we like went to the Applebee's and everything. We had this group of people, and we were all hanging out and having a good time. We had nowhere to be except right there having a good time. And everyone kept dropping like flies at some point, and it dwindled down to like 3 of us at like 2 a.m. And they were hanging out in my room. And
I dropped off pretty early.
Yeah, yeah, you did. And my girlfriend couldn't make it up that night, so I had the room to myself. And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, we're heading out. Got to get up." And then they walk out, and it's like 2 a.m. and it's just me in this empty room. And I'm like, "Holy shit, dude!" I'm like, I need to go to bed.
Yeah, that was my like clarity moment. I was like across the hallway with Mike. Being
when you're in
damage control mode. But
when you're in a room by yourself like that, the absence of God in the human experience really starts to close in, doesn't it? You're just like, am I alone?
Yeah.
Am I gonna die alone?
Hey, I did it appropriately. I went right to bed.
Yeah,
There was
right.
no issues.
I could tell things were like winding down, but I was in like the room across from my room, just like laying on the floor.
Yeah,
just,
that was
like,
the day of the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was good time, no drama. Everyone there was, normal.
We shut down that dance floor, man. There was like 50 people on that dance floor all night. Oh, it was a good time.
It was a really good time. And then I went on a week-long honeymoon to Jamaica with my wife, and we had a great time there. Beautiful area of Ocho Rios, if you've ever been. It was wonderful. And then I got back, and like literally the day after I got back, I got the flu. And then I got a little better for a day, and then I started getting worse, and I had like this cough, and I went to the ER, and I had pneumonia. So I ended up missing the Stevo show, which I'm sure you'll talk about.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
And the Tough Mudder. And we weren't able to record because we record everything at my place, and all the stuff's here, and it was like the first week I'm like, yeah, I'm sick, guys, and then the next week I was like, yeah, I'm still sick. I was like even worse this time. So
this is like the first human contact we've had with you in like a month.
Yeah, but I am
post wedding.
Yeah, since the wedding. So I am feeling good though. I'm feeling great now. And I'm excited we got a chance to record tonight.
Dan, how many is it worth talking about how many accidents you saw on the way up here?
Almost not worth it just because of how often it happens. But so to do these podcasts, I drive up from Maryland, which is about a 3.5-4 hour drive. 2 major accidents that were like bumper to bumper for like 30-45 minutes each. And I was, needless to say, I was pretty salty. I'm sure you could tell from the strange group me text.
You still made a pretty good time up here.
Pretty good.
Now, I left early, like, not even expecting that. My plan was to stop at home first, but honestly, after that, it was just like, okay,
yeah,
let's get straight to this shit.
Right there.
So driving long times on the highway is abysmal. Everyone hates that. You've been to Jamaica. Combine those two things. What's the best vacation you've ever been on? Is it your Jamaica trip?
I don't know, because I guess the best one would be like the best experience you've ever had. And I gotta say that probably the best vacation I've ever had was when Alyssa and I took a trip to, it was when I proposed to her. We took we took a trip to Bar Harbor, Maine. And that was probably my favorite vacation, honestly, that I've ever taken. Like, just because we had such a good time. We were only there for a long weekend, but we had a blast, like, all 4 days.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
And the traveling was fine, too.
Oh!
Mr. Poopy. Ooh-wee.
Ooh-wee.
The traveling, like, went off without a hitch, and the place was really beautiful. It was the perfect time of year to go, and we just had a great time. So, but the Jamaica trip was definitely a lot of fun. It was cool getting out of the country and like
pneumonia.
Well, I probably
it
caught that from the airport probably. So I don't know if that's Jamaica's fault, but yeah.
The best one I ever went on.
And it wasn't COVID. I got tested so many damn times for COVID because everywhere I went thought that was it, and I tested negative like 5 times.
Yeah, I kept texting you like, dude, you alive? And you're like, yeah, tested negative for COVID again.
Yeah,
don't know what's from.
They're like, you got the flu, and then like I did a 6-hour wait in the ER before I could get like a scan to tell if it was pneumonia. And the hardest part about waiting in the ER, so it was more than 6 hours, but
was it your smoking nurse?
No, it wasn't. The hardest part about waiting in the lobby to even get called back was that they had one TV, and it was on TBS, and it played 2 episodes of Young Sheldon, and then I shit you not, 4 hours straight. That's 8 episodes of The Big Bang Theory.
The whole damn world is a nightmare.
And I tell you what, like The Big Bang Theory is not the worst network show that could be on, but it was 8 episodes. About the 5th time you hear the theme song, you're like, I'm just going to die right here in the lobby. I don't even want treatment. Whatever's killing me right now, I want it to go faster. Like,
I do want to get into vacation real quick, but I'll tell you an ER story.
Yeah.
I was at work, and my work has like a clinic that you can go to. It was the beginning of the day. I honestly felt kind of okay, but I had a weird, like, it was like I was talking to somebody, and I was like watching myself or listening to myself talk to this person. And I was like, that's really weird. And I was like, I told him, like, I feel kind of weird. Can I go down to the place? And they were like, okay. And this doctor, like, he like scared the shit out of me. He's like, okay, like, the fact that you, like, it came and passed is very scary to me. You could have had it's not, I always want to say UTI. It's like an almost stroke, a TIA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very different things.
I know, but my brain always goes UTI.
It really burned when
Doc, I couldn't piss.
Yeah. But
I'm scared.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, am I like about to die? And then they're like, I'm not, like, you can't leave this room. You are going to the hospital. And I was like, what the fuck? And so I go to the hospital and I'm in the ER and like I felt fine. And I was like, this dude next to me, this old guy, was like dead. And I was like, I do not belong here.
Yeah.
Like, so I felt really stupid. And I had to pay fucking like $250 and tell me like, I don't know if it happens again. Tell your doctor. And I'm like,
right.
all right. So it was a trip. And then I was out to the mall that day and everyone at work was all pissed off. They're like, wow, you had to go to the hospital. Now you're out I'm like, I feel fine. I didn't want to go to the hospital. But yeah, it was like, I felt really weird being in there. I'm like, I should not be here. These people are like dead.
Yeah.
You hear something sick about, because I work in an emergency room in hospital. Whenever someone passes away in a hospital, like I have my tracking board of everyone who's there. They put expired next to their name.
Oh, man.
It's like, oh.
Yeah, that's rough.
Okay, I'm gonna get to my favorite vacation real quick because it is, shit. Was it last year or the year before? I don't remember. Me and Katie, we went to Arizona to visit our friends.
Sedona.
We did. We went to the Grand Canyon and Sedona, and we were
I'm
on
going to
this,
Arizona
like,
soon.
Are you?
Yeah.
It's a lot. What area?
Oh, I don't actually know. I'll tell you.
Why are you going?
Alexis's friend lives there, so we're going there periodically, and then we're going to
Trying not to
Los
get
Angeles.
frustrated.
That is a song by Junk Bunny featured in Tony Hawk Remake 1 and 2.
It's called Sedona.
We flew into Phoenix. We went up to the Grand Canyon and then Sedona. If you've never been there, go there. Amazing time. And we hiked this trail called the Bright Angel Trail, which takes you down into the center of the Grand Canyon, like a couple thousand feet. And there is like straight drop off next to you. Really intense trail. Highly recommend. Like, don't just get off your couch and be like, I'm gonna hike the Bright Angel Trail, and like get conditioned for this, because there's like warning signs on your way down that's like, past this point, rescue's not guaranteed. You know, heat casualties. You know, you will die if you keep going and you don't drink water. So that was like pretty exhilarating. So we did that, came back down. We did a couple miles down, a couple miles back up, and we went to Sedona. And, you know, we did some rock climbing up on, it's one of those ones where you see in like Western movies and stuff where those big red mountains.
Like the
and
Mesa?
you can climb up. Yeah. Like you can climb up to the top of them and like look out.
Isn't it Arizona? There's that like one place where because of the jurisdiction, you can like legally kill someone. Is that in Arizona? Did you ever hear about that?
Do tell.
I have no idea. I mean, I know nothing about that.
It's like this pop fact where it has to do with like the jurisdiction of where this place is. But like you can legally not be prosecuted for killing somebody there. So look it up. It's it's a pop fact.
I'm gonna have to take I'm gonna have to take Baby Yoda to that area.
We're gonna film.
That's
but
like I might go with my new wife to a trip to that to that location.
we're
like
gonna
that-
film
that
pretty good
TikTok
podcast
guy.
6 from there.
Yeah.
Dog the Bounty Hunter and Zero Kazama will be hunting me down.
But we had a really good vacation there, and then I got back, and like a week ago, it was you know, I have this me time where I stay up. You know, Katie goes to bed at like 11:30, and I stay up till like 1, 2 sometimes, and that's my me time.
Dude, I have that too.
Yeah, and I was watching this like, you know, Watch Mojo, like, you know, just staring
How
at
are
a
you
blank.
spending your precious me time watching a Watch Mojo top 10 video?
Well, that's just like sort of what it
I'm
was.
well fucking spit.
You know, just like
Best Joker, Heath Ledger.
you're better off staring at a wall. But it was like top 10 deadliest trails to hike in America, and like number 5 was like the Bright Angel Trail, and I was like, oh my god, I was on that. And then I went up, you know, Katie's in bed. I'm like, Katie, what the fuck do you want? I'm like, we hiked one of the deadliest trails in America.
According to
She's
Watch
like,
Mojo.
yeah. She's like, cool.
Well, did you ever I've had that where like you realize that you were in a way more dangerous situation or like a cooler situation than you thought at the time. Because like I played football 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, and one of our school districts that we play against a lot is Penn Hills, and one of the top defensive players in the NFL is also from Penn Hills. That is like around our age group.
Yeah.
And I was on the offensive line, so I'm like,
Aaron Donald.
did I block Aaron Donald in school?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, you might have lined up across from Aaron Donald.
Try to block.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Yo, Aaron, if you're watching this, meet me at the O Block Junior High field, the field that's not even 100 yards and it's all hilly. Meet me on there, Aaron.
Yeah.
Maybe in the shittiest field in like
Yeah.
Western PA.
Craig, is your vacation story, is it going to be the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World?
All right, listen, I'm not gonna get. I'll tell you legitimately, probably my favorite vacation I've been on is I met my friend. She had a internship in California, and so no, not like that. I kind of want to tell. I'll say that story, but it involves you and her. It's minor, but
What I do?
well, I'll say this real quick.
It's your stepsister.
No, it's my friend. We went to her Halloween party last year.
Oh yeah.
And she just bought this house, and I've never been inside of it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to see her for this Halloween party. And the first person to greet me is Lucas in a Woody costume. And I was like, the first time I go to her house, she's like one of my best friends. The last fucking person on the entire planet I expected to see there was Lucas.
He's dressed as Woody from Toy Story.
Yeah, I was like, Lucas, why the fuck are you here? So anyway,
That was a great costume, by the way.
yeah, it was.
Yeah, you'll see it coming up on an episode.
It was very
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
But she had an internship out in California, so I saw her. She was in fucking Northern California. We had to take the most miserable bus ride that was like 14 hours to Southern California, to Anaheim, where Disneyland was. And this bus ride was like, this guy was like trying to sex traffic this one girl on the bus, where like he started talking to her, and it was like kind of like, and it was like normal, but like, you know, like, why are they kind of talking? And she was like kind of going along with it, but me and her were kind of giving them the side eye, and we talked to her at a stop when he wasn't there. We're like, are you like okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. And then like he started like saying how she had really pretty feet, and started getting closer and closer to her. And we're like, yo, what the fuck? But like she kind of kept talking to him, so we're like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? And eventually I fell asleep and I woke up, and he was asking her like, hey, do you want like a good way to make some money? Like, you know, and she's like, no, I have money saved in the bank. And he's like, well, banks can go bad or something. And it's like, come with all these things. And then I was like, yo, what the fuck? And so I eventually told, because the bus drivers swapped and the one was like resting. And I'm like, dude, this dude's like doing shit. And so he had him go, oh, thank you.
No, that was. Is this the best vacation you were on?
No, I thought you were giving me a high five for being a Sigma male.
No, he was asking if that's the best vacation.
No, this is just kind of a minor life story. This is my first introduction to California. And then, so the dude was like, he got to the front of the bus and was like bitching about, he called like the bus company and was saying how the bus driver needed to be fired because he's like, I didn't do anything and all this stuff. But anyway, the conclusion of the story is we parked in Los Angeles. We were the next stop at Anaheim to get off to go to our like Airbnb or wherever we were, hotel, I think. And this dude like comes on the bus and he's like, if I ever see your face again, you're fucking dead. Like the bus driver let her boyfriend who met her on the bus to just bitch this dude out.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, why would you let him on the bus? Like, I don't care for this guy's well-being. He's like, if I see you again, I will fucking kill you. And then what was so funny is we were like, yeah, because we're the only people who knew what the interaction was or what he was doing. This dude's screaming, and this guy, like everyone else on the bus is just like in their book, like no headphones in, doesn't care. But that guy, I'll never forget that. That was like horrible. But then I went to Disneyland. So
and then it got way better.
It got way better. So that was really special to see that for the first time. I am going to, during the 50th celebration, this October is when it turned 50. So I'm going
California or Florida?
Florida. 1971 it opened, so not as old as you might think, but
are they unfreezing Walt Disney during that?
Very funny. No, so I'll be going probably late January, early February. If that bald fucking asshole does not ruin my trip, that new CEO, that bald dickhead, I fucking hate that guy.
What, the CEO of Disney?
If I saw him, I would spit. I hate him. He's such a piece of shit.
Come on the podcast.
Come on the pod and fight cred.
Yeah. He's the CEO, so it's not just a guy, but
bare knuckle boxing.
Well, there goes the Disney sponsorship we were working on.
I lost that when I threatened to kill Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
like Arizona or whatever.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry.
You say that, but you have a giant Baby Yoda on.
Yeah, well, look, it doesn't mean he can't have cute merch, I mean, it is what it is.
Dan, best vacation you ever went on?
Oh, how do I top the sex trafficking Disney trip?
Not the best introduction to my favorite vacation.
So I know a lot of people are on the fence when it comes to cruises. That's definitely kind of the thing where it's either you love it or hate it.
Was it a gay cruise?
No, but No, we're not going there. So
Dan was in the Navy for that.
that was just called the Navy. No, me and Kelly, we did a cruise that was like a island hopping tour of like all the Caribbean. So it was like St. Martin, St. Kitts, St. Lucia, all the saints, Barbados.
Sure.
Like
that
all
the many saints of Newark.
Yeah.
Is that Caribbean islands?
Yeah. It was literally like you hop from one paradise to the next, and it just keeps going and getting better. And then at Barbados, you get to kind of just like chill out for a bit. That was probably the best vacation in terms of like just quality, just sheer quality. Like I spent the whole time thinking like it's not going to get better than this. Like I'm going to go home, back to work at O&I and just
Back
like,
to misery.
Yeah.
There's like that last day of like when you're on like a kick-ass vacation.
Exactly.
And there's that last day of dread.
Myself.
It was the vacation where like the last day of it is the hardest part because you know like it's gotta come
Where
to
you're
an
like, I'm
end.
gonna fly home tomorrow and catch pneumonia.
Yeah.
Not be able to leave my
Luckily,
house
I did
for
not
2
get a
weeks.
crippling sickness, but
For a month.
well, I did actually never ever go to like the doctors on a cruise
It's like
because
2.5 weeks, probably. Sorry.
I guess I spent like too much time in the water or something like that. I had like an ear infection from like the salt water, so I went to the ship's ER doctor. And
Dan caught scurvy on the cruise.
cruise ship doctors are such a joke. It was like $300 just to have the guy say like
You've got cabin fever.
like $300. So you need insurance too. Like they have to verify that your insurance is
Because your
good.
insurance isn't going to cover that probably.
So in the military, you have TRICARE. That's like the DoD's insurance plan.
Yeah, they try to care.
got
This cruise ship doesn't take military health insurance. So
Yeah.
like they told me I'd have to pay like out of pocket the full price to see the doctor. So I'm just like, fuck it, I'll go back upstairs and pretend it's not a problem. And luckily that did go away after a couple days. But
That it's like a surcharge. They don't look at it as an actual like, hey, I need to see a doctor. It's
Yeah.
like, well, did you buy the pre-cruise
yeah,
vacation?
it's up there. It's like
vacation
right up
package?
there with like the alcohol plan.
Yeah, exactly. Do you? You know, I'm sorry, we don't accept. What do you accept? Nothing.
Oh, you can't afford it? Well, you could just go to one of the other doctors. Oh, there's only one doctor on the ship.
Starts rubbing his nipple.
Yeah. Dang it.
One part I forgot about that too is to get ready for it. Like the cruise left out of Puerto Rico, and if you've never been to Puerto Rico, it is a fantastic place to also vacation at. We spent some time in like old San Juan, and that was kind of like our staging area for the cruise, so that was nice. Very, very beautiful place.
That's it. I'm going Dominican Republic soon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'll be cool.
anything in the Caribbean, like
Nice parts of Dominican.
Or that's when you're going to fucking that instead of the Mega 64 show.
Yeah.
yeah. The revelation
Not
I got,
by choice.
The revelation I got from that cruise though is if I could change one thing, it would just be to like pick one island and just stay there the whole time, like probably St. Lucia. Just like
Brandon,
What do you got?
best vacation ever.
Definitely has to be the one and only time that I went to Europe, and it was great. It was like a 2-week trip, and we split it up by starting in Munich, then going to Paris, and then London, and then heading back to the
Wow.
States.
Dang.
That sounds awesome.
Let me guess.
actually.
Sex trafficking and pneumonia.
Did you go to Disneyland?
And an
Paris?
ear infection.
yeah,
It was actually really good. None of that. It was pretty, standard. We went to Neuschwanstein Castle, and I'm a super fucking nerd, so I went to like all these museums. They were fucking great. Like there's this museum of technology with all this like industrial shit.
Yeah.
And my dad's an electrical engineer, and we were just like nerding over all this.
That's
But,
awesome.
but all the information was in kilometers, so you couldn't tell what the fuck they were saying. Like, God damn it, how big is
magic.
So close.
I've harped on this so many times
You
before
call the
too.
guy over. Yo, Fritz. how big do you think that is in like feet? Like,
Can you give me the conversion factor for that? I just don't have it remembered.
Yeah.
American feet?
Oh,
do you think?
kilograms? How many burgers is that? I always harp on this too. I want to go to Europe so bad. I've never been there because I've probably said it on this podcast before. Everything's so crazy over there. Like in America, they're like, oh, this place was founded in, 1906. You go over there, you walk into a bar and it's like, this bar was founded in like the year 900. And you're like, holy shit.
Charlemagne executed a man right on that cobblestone over it.
Like, holy shit, I'm having a beer where like, William Wallace died.
It's really eating me up that I can't remember the name of the city, but it's in Germany.
Shaka would like that.
They still have like the full castle walls around the city. Do you know what I'm talking about? Which one?
I don't know, but
yeah, it was on my like little tour list when we did like Stuttgart all the way up to
East Berlin.
Is the Berlin Wall? I know they toppled like the Berlin Wall, but is there like remnants of it still there?
Probably.
there's like there's a little outline on the pavement that they have marked.
Yeah, easily a close second is my Germany to Amsterdam trip. That was fantastic.
Did you go to any of those German sex clubs?
Dan, don't say what you did in Amsterdam on this podcast.
I hear the more stories you go up, the crazier they get.
Yeah.
As surprising as it may be to hear, you can have a ridiculous amount of fun in Amsterdam without getting like blackout wasted or like tripped up by some weird unknown drugs.
Or so you've heard.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I think what's crazy about Europe, thinking I've never been to Europe, but like the United States, you're like, oh well, everything that happened like in revolutionary Boston, that's like the Stone Age, like that's your conception. Versus like fucking Europe, that's like, oh, this is the spot that this thing happened in like 1200 BC. This is where Christ was killed. And you're like, Jesus Christ,
Supposedly,
Literally.
yeah. So
It is cool though. Like Europe modernizes pretty well, but you still like drive through the countryside and see like old school windmills and like the Dutch side.
If you think Europe's old, wait till you go to the Middle East.
Yeah.
It's literally like,
where like the history of the world was written.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this past weekend, we referenced it already. I did some pretty cool shit.
Yeah.
The Stevo bucket list tour. I bought VIP meet and greet tickets to see Stevo like 2 years ago when they originally scheduled it.
And I was supposed to go with you, but I was not able to go because I had pneumonia and I had just gotten the medicine for it. So.
It finally got rescheduled. Matt, I got pneumonia. Couldn't go. So I went with my brother and we went in. It was at the Pittsburgh Improv and we went down there. And when you buy tickets to see Stevo, what do you expect? Who the hell knows? What are you getting?
A half melted human being doing stand up.
Well, this was supposed to be like his big bucket list tour where it was like everything he's always wanted to do in his life, like wrapped up.
So number one, how was the stand up?
They had an opener act from like Pittsburgh who did like, if you're from Pittsburgh, you would get his humor. If not, you'd be like, boo, this guy stinks. And so
he did like all local jokes, kind of centric jokes.
Yeah, I'm not even going to riff you off any because you won't get them, most likely. But he was pretty funny. Then they had Stevo come out and he did kind of like where he explained, like, told some jokes and told like the backstory between these like stunts that he did and then showed the footage from them. Some of the like, my expectations were up here. I was like, oh man, these are going to be like some crazy stunts. It's his bucket list tour. And here I am. I'm watching him like shit into a ceiling fan in his front yard. I'm like, man, the big brain stunts he came up with for his bucket list tour.
Well, so it's even more like a show than really like stand up.
Yeah, it wasn't really like stand up. It was him telling like the backstory. And his backstories were like really funny on like how he came up with these bucket list stuff. And I don't want to like. There was like a big non-disclosure clause when you went to his show where you're not supposed to film it or talk about it.
Yeah, you're not supposed to give away his act.
So I won't really like say too much about it, but like his backstories were pretty funny. It was pretty like it was better. The show was better than I expected it to be.
Second question, final question: how was the meet and greet? Was it weird? Was it awkward?
Stevo looked completely different in person than I thought he would. Yeah. And like I grew up like anyone probably our age like watching Jackass all the time. One of my like favorite things. It was like. Slap on late at night when all the dudes are hanging out. Oh, let's watch Jackass again. Oh, he got hit in the nuts. That's hilarious.
Big time.
He got hit by 2 coconuts.
Yeah, you're staying up the latest you ever stayed up 1 a.m. as a kid, and your guys are all in sleeping bags watching Jackass. Like, I have Jackass. Let's watch on the TV.
Can we watch Jack Butt?
Yeah.
But yeah, the meet and greet was kind of quick. I was hoping to get a little more time with him, but I mean, he's a busy man. Got a lot to do.
Yeah.
I got a signed DVD from him, which was pretty cool. I got my bucket list shirt back here.
What's your name, man? Lucas?
If you want to see his bucket list tour, this rated XXX Yeah. It's rated X. That's for sure. But yeah, it was a good time overall.
Penis.
So
and then
go see it, but don't bring the kids.
hey, Stevo, come on the podcast. Come hang out with us.
There's a
Yeah,
seat
for
for you
real.
next time you're in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, for real. Come on, Stevo. Get on the pod.
I like that. It's located in like the waterfront. If you're not from Pittsburgh, you know what the waterfront is. But like, it's weird to be like, oh, Stevo is at the waterfront right now.
Yeah.
He's by Dave and Buster's.
It's not down like here's the downtown. Here's where we are. It's like in between us and the downtown, but it feels like you're downtown. Like it's like going downtown, but you're not actually downtown.
Yeah, it's like I don't call it an outdoor mall. It's sort of tough to describe, but I went to a comedy show with Mike, who you've seen on the podcast. We saw Joey Diaz one time there, and that was the only comedy show I've ever. Well, no, that's not true. I went to another comedy show, but like that was like a real small like club sort of atmosphere. I really loved it. It was like a concert where you had an opening act, like a second act, and then like the main act.
Yeah.
It was so fun. Like you got like food and drinks, and like it was just like really cool. I just wish like they had more like big names coming. There was a time like right before COVID, they had a lot of really awesome back-to-back people.
Rob Schneider's coming in December.
That's just who I want to fucking see.
What a big name.
Yeah, just he's gonna be like, why do we need a vaccine if the vaccine works?
Right, yeah.
Why do we need to wear masks?
Oh, the bicycle seat hurts my hind knee.
Yeah,
Rob Schneider's going to find out that making a vaccine isn't so easy.
Yeah.
Rob Schneider is a stapler.
yeah. Well, on that similar note, actually, I don't say unfortunately, I have tickets to see Joe Rogan tomorrow, and I've been trying to sell them for like 3-4 days, and like nobody wants to fucking like go. Apparently,
I would if I would stay longer.
Well, no, I'm saying like all the tickets are being sold. Like if I was on StubHub and they were like, you can sell these. We bought them for like $105 each, and they're like, oh, sell them for $130. That's a good price. I looked at like all of like everyone else in like my section, and it's all like $98, $95, and like. Because the thing is, it was delayed twice, and they don't want you to sell them like on like the Ticketmaster. And it's like, dude, this was delayed like 2 years. Mike went to the fucking army, like in the time whenever he bought these tickets. He had no plan to join the army beforehand.
Can't go to Joe Rogan.
So like, yeah, it just sucks. So I mean, it's not like I can't go. So like, I just don't want to. So if no one buys them, I can just go. But it's like
You have to go and you have to tell us how it is, Craig. You have to,
I know it kind of is going to be like a story.
You have to invite Joe Rogan onto our podcast.
Yeah, you want to borrow?
Oh, I should.
Dude, invite him onto the Deadliest Warrior podcast.
Yeah.
Get his opinion on who would win between a Spartan and a samurai.
Yeah, I know. It would be kind of a fun story. Although I'm sure there's going to be like NDAs and like fucking they're going to take like your phone and everything.
I was surprised
to listen to Joe Rogan's mediocre stand-up. Sorry, Joe. Come on the pod, but let's be honest.
Invite us on your pod. It's
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a big name. That would help our numbers.
Yeah, I was surprised. I guess Stevo's probably, I imagine, filming like a DVD to come out like eventually. You know, Stevo's bucket list tour DVD, which is probably why he has that. Like, don't talk about the show.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, but I went to bed. I met him. Went to bed at like 12.
With him?
I went to bed without him.
That's the XXX part.
It was a really integral show. The next
Paid
morning,
a lot of money for those meet and greets.
I ran my first
Meet and
Tough
skeet.
Mudder.
Meet and skeet.
Me and a group of friends. Matt, still with pneumonia, didn't make it.
I
We
did the
ran
Tough Mudder with Stevo.
We ran a 10-mile Tough Mudder. If you've never done that, do it. It was a blast. Our friend got shocked so hard he blacked out at one point.
You got shocked?
Yeah, Steve.
They have like little hanging.
There's
wires.
No, not Steve-O.
No,
Okay.
different Steve.
I was like, what? He came with you?
Steve-O was there. No, our friend Steve. There's a part where you run 10 miles and there's 26 obstacles, and they're all get covered in mud. Can you get over this obstacle? They're like real challenging stuff. And there's one where you climb under these electrical leads and you're in water, and they call it the electric eel. And our friend Steve got zapped so bad he blacked out
In water.
Jesus.
We're like 6 miles into this thing, and it took him like 5 minutes to like remember where he was. Oh, great time.
So I was really bummed I couldn't make it.
No, but I skipped that obstacle. I'll be completely level with you. There was 2 electric ones. I did the one at the end, and I got zapped, and my leg, got it pretty good. But the rest of the event, Really good time. If you get a group of friends together, highly recommend doing a Tough Mudder.
Doesn't sound as bad as me putting the dog's shock collar on Craig.
Oh yeah, we did that. Dan, this is not to steal your thunder, but we were fucking around with Dan brought his dogs over to Mike. Mike was home, and he brought his dogs to Mike's house, and they had like a shock collar, and I'm like, okay, this is for dogs. This is like nothing. And thankfully, I didn't put it around my neck, and like it doesn't feel like shocks. It feels like there's these like little like metal like I don't know what you'd call it, like pen
Prongs.
points or like prong, just like twisting against your skin. And he put it like just against my arm, and I was like, "Stop that fucking like!" And it was. You should try it.
I did. When we were back, when I lived in North Carolina, and I had some of my military guys over. You know, they're all like, you know, they have to be macho as shit all the time. And I had a dog down there, and it had a shock collar. And the one night, everyone was over, and we were having a couple of drinks, and you know, people were like putting it on their neck, and we were seeing how far you could turn the level up. And the one guy I worked with put it on his balls, and turned it up. And his balls just went like,
Oh,
and before he put it on his balls, though, there was a guardrail kind of outside or like a fence outside my house, and so we were putting it on, and we are seeing if you could run to the fence and back with it on, and I put it on, and we put it up to like level 10, and then I ran out the door, and someone hit it, and I just went, like I was like, turn it off.
yeah. Don't fuck around with those things.
No, they're like pretty legit. Like,
So all the stuff we just said we did, don't do that.
yeah,
Right,
don't
if you're listening-
except
if
the
you're-
Tough Mudder. Do that. It was
I will say, I don't
listening at
even
home.
really use the shock collar on my dogs. Even like there were going to be kids there, and that dog can be a little rowdy.
They have like a warning beep on them. You can usually like beep, and the
That's
dog
what
will
I
be like,
use.
"Oh shit!"
That's what I use most of the time, like the vibrate function.
Yeah.
That's been more useful than any like actual shock tase.
because it honestly does not feel like a shock.
The days of shock.
No, yeah, I kind of had that same thing as you. I'm like,
I
it's
keep
for
breaking
like a
season two.
dog,
I keep
dude.
breaking
Like, how
rules.
bad? Oh, turn it off! Turn it off!
I know it sucks.
Matt, so as one of your wedding presents, you have joined, as you called, I'm tired of this PS5 elitist talk over here.
I've joined an elite club, PS5 owners. Yeah.
But do you have the Series X?
I don't know.
Oh, so we got 2 real gamers, and we have 2 fake gamers, and we have a not even gamer who still has an Xbox One.
Yeah, but Matt doesn't even have a gaming PC.
That's true. I'm the only one here who doesn't game on PC. So,
I just stepped into that realm. This is my gaming PC, actually, right here, featured on the pod.
but
Craig, I
But-
hardly ever see you on
yeah,
Steam.
I got a PS5 and I got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I'm almost done with that game. But when I got the PS5, there was only one. I mainly played the Xbox on the last generation of consoles, but Alyssa has a PS4, and I got one game for the PS4, and it was Ghost of Tsushima, and I had stopped playing it like a little bit ago, but I was like 2/3 of the way through the game, and I got the PS5, and I was playing Ratchet and Clank, and I was like, I'm not going to transfer over my information for like one game. So I just, while I was sick, grinded the end of like, I just for like 3 days straight grinded the end of like Ghost of Tsushima, got like all the little unlockables and then beat the story and then beat the little side quests. And I was like, I was like, just to finish that out so then I could go back to the PS5 and just play that.
I'm assuming it got to the point where like, this isn't even fun anymore. It's just a chore.
Yeah, I can give my full review of Ghost of Tsushima.
I was like, that's a weird moment when you're playing a game and you're like, I do not want to fucking play this anymore, but like something compels
I was
you.
so far through it too. I'll just give my review of Ghost of Tsushima here, and then I maybe I can give a review of Ratchet and Clank on the next episode or something.
Hell
Beat
yeah.
it. I know you beat it too.
Oh, I play every Ratchet and Clank probably like 10 times each.
So Ghost of Tsushima, picked it up because I thought it looked cool with the samurais. So good things going for it because overall it was a good experience. I enjoyed it. And I saw that game got a lot of hate, though I don't really read a ton of reviews.
Really? Because I thought it was like really celebrated.
Was it?
Yeah.
Because I don't really care what any reviews say. So I just started playing it. The action in the game feels really, really good. Like shooting a bow, swinging a sword. It all feels very visceral. And it feels like you're put right into it. The action is very satisfying. And the game is also very beautiful too. Like, it's gorgeous to look at, the whole landscapes.
There's no female Lombaxes though.
As unfortunately, no, but there is in another game. As Red Letter Media would say, vistas.
Yeah.
Vistas. But honestly, because when you're playing the game and like you're climbing a mountain and you just look at a field of like red leaf trees and stuff, it's a cool immersive experience. Third favorite thing about the game, the way there's a lot of creative elements that they put in with like nature. So guiding you to your next objective is what's called the guiding wind, and it's supposed to be like your ancestors telling you where to go. And you just swipe up on the D-pad and like a little wind blows, goes.
I got some guiding wind for you right here.
It's like your objective is that way, and you interact with nature. You have little fox spirits that leads you to shrines, and the whole vibe of the game is that this island is counting on you, basically, because the overall plot of the game is like at the beginning, all the samurai of this island, Tsushima's being invaded by the Mongols. And all the samurai of this island show up to fight the Mongols, and they get their asses handed to them. And your character is there, and you almost die, but you get saved by this thief lady. And this thief lady, Yuna, starts to teach you some tricky stuff that's not part of the samurai code necessarily. So doing
Sneaky.
stealth tactics, poison, hidden weapons, things like that. Using tactics to scare the Mongols, stuff that the samurai would frown upon, because they're all about, you got to face an enemy like head on. But right from the outset of the game, it sets up that the Mongols don't play by those rules. Like right at the outset, the samurai all show up to the beach, and the samurai nominate a fighter, and they're like, let us send your best fighter to fight our best fighter. And the Mongols are like, okay. and so
Sure, it's just like that.
The samurai send a fighter, and he walks up, and the Mongols throw oil on him and set him on fire right on the beach. And the samurai are like, oh, they don't have any honor. And then they charge in, and they all get their asses kicked. And so your character's learning that I might not be able to beat the Mongols if I play by the rules, kind of. And that creates tension with other characters throughout the story. But
you got a Tom Brady in New England Patriots.
You got to cheat. Yeah. It's so
Ghosts of the Shima Flight Gate.
Got him.
Some cool armor. There's like missions that are specific to get like legendary items that are like part of Japanese folklore and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Things I did not enjoy about the game. Like I said, so you have 3 sections of island, and once you get to that third section, you're in like the third act of the story. And you reach the second act low point of the story, and you're like, man, things could not get any worse. Little did you know, you have like 6 hours of game left to play. And I'm like, I am just grinding this last island. Like, the story's not that long if I had just played through the story missions, but I'm like uncovering every inch of the top part of the island. And by that point in the game, all the setups are like tiresome. It's like, all right, go to the farm and kill these Mongols and save these peasants. And you're like, holy fuck, I've done this like 20 times and I have to do it 6 more times. Like,
you do that shit though. Same thing happened with Red Dead. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, oh, it's really good. I'm like, near the end of the story, you're like, I'm hunting all of the wild animals.
I like to try and 100%. I eventually gave up on that with Red Dead because I realized it was too much. But with Ghost of Tsushima, I got everything except like all the Shishimo banners because I wasn't going to bother with that shit. But like, I'm doing everything in the upper part of the thing, and I am just grinding it out. And by the end, I know that's a flaw maybe that's inherent in the style that I play games. But what I'm saying is all the side stuff that you do to collect this equipment gets so repetitive by the end. Like, they don't add anything new in the third island. Like, you have all the equipment, you have all the gear you need, and so you're just going through the motions, and you're like, Oh my God. I was like skipping enemies at a certain point. Like I would get sighted by the Mongols and I'd just keep going on my horse.
You
'cause I was
strapped
like,
on the Lamborghinis and took off.
Yeah, I was like, I don't care. And I just leave them behind. And the other thing I wanted to bitch about the game, this is kind of the most like concrete inherent flaw in it probably, is it has the illusion of choice. So when you're riding around on a mission, it'll do that thing where you have to ride a horse to a location with somebody and you're riding, and it'll be like, respond to them, X to say this and O to say this. And the way you answer means nothing. It changes nothing in the story. Like you might get a different line of dialogue said to you, but it doesn't affect, like you're still going to go on that mission and complete it the same way.
It's like, just don't bother me. I think it's a way to get people to pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah,
keep you
probably.
engaged lightly.
It's like a dangling a shining object in front of a cat, just to keep you entertained.
Just leave me fucking alone. Just give me to this location.
The only choice you get that has any concrete weight is at the very end of the game, where you choose to either spare somebody or kill them. And even then, even if you spare this person, you go and talk to Yuna, and Yuna's like, well, do you think that person's going to be coming after us? And your character's like, no, I don't think so. And so it doesn't matter. Like, you beat the game, you're doing free play, and whether you've killed that character or not, you'll never see them again. So I was kind of like, that has a lot of weight in the story, I guess, but it doesn't really have any weight in how it affects the actual game.
It's supposed to reflect on you.
I guess. I guess it's supposed to reflect on you, but it doesn't change anything in the game. So it's kind of like fake role playing in a way. You're the illusion of choice while you're being railroaded to the same outcome regardless. But all those negatives aside, overall, I obviously beat the game. I did enjoy it. It was pretty cool. So I would recommend, if you're into fighting games, and you know, the samurai aesthetic was really badass in the game. If you're into that stuff, check it out.
I will say I do have several things to respond to, because I only got to about the first island, and then I felt like I fucking bought like the director's cut, so I have a whole fourth island to go to if I really want to. But we'll see. I haven't played.
Remember how much fun you had on the third island? Go to a fourth.
Yeah, I haven't honestly played my PS5 in a long time, but I know how you feel about open world games, and I had to learn, like, if you're not having fun, just like stop fucking doing it. Like I would have this weird compulsion, like if I started a side mission, I'm like, I have to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't always follow that, but I'm like, I if I don't want to do it, I just fucking stop.
Yeah. Certain games, like, you gotta learn, because I do have that compulsion to like 100% a game, and with a game like Ratchet and Clank, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Because you can easily get those bolts and all the raritanium and stuff, and it doesn't take you a ton of time. But I had to learn with like Red Dead Redemption. I had to learn Red Dead 2. Don't bother trying to collect all this stuff.
It's just too much shit.
Beat the damn story and then go do whatever side stuff you want to do.
That's the game that taught me that, because like you have to just do what you want, or else you're gonna kill yourself.
Or else you will be spending so much time doing nothing. And the other game that applies to is any kind of open world like this that's really big, like because I got that way with Fallout 4, and I swear I had like the whole map uncovered by the time I beat Fallout 4, and it drove you crazy, I remember, because you're like, have you beaten that game yet? And I'm like, no, but check it out, I got my power armor and I'm going here, and you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, can you?
I do a steady blend. I don't just rush through the story. I do a steady blend to like 50-50 the whole way through, where like
when I went back,
it's good.
I replayed Skyrim very recently, just because I hadn't played it in a really long time, and that is a game where you have to learn to like ignore shit, like oh, this side thing. Yeah, if I ever want to beat this game, I need to just ignore that.
You pick up 6 quests on your one quest you're on. That, do you remember
you can spend a whole day just working on your house in Skyrim.
Yeah. Did you ever play those games too, that like they're open world games where you have like dialogue options, but like they're super shortened down versions of what you're actually like? This
like
girl will be
Fallout.
do you like me? And like, you know, your
Sarcasm.
options
You
are,
wanted to say it all. Mass Effect's really bad at that.
yeah, it's like yes or the girl's like, do you like me? And the answers are yes or no, and you click yes. It's like, yes, my undying love for you is as strong as the sun burns. Or you
Yeah,
click no, it's like,
not what I
no,
wanted
you
at all.
fucking bitch.
Yeah, right.
Telltale's bad at that
Not
too.
quite,
where
but
it's like,
okay.
Yeah, but
You're like, that's not what I wanted to say.
yeah, but two other things I wanted to mention, like positive, negative. For one thing that didn't work for me was the side characters, which are a really big part of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to like GTA or even Red Dead, like we mentioned, where like if I saw like a side mission, I would like have to do it.
Your side character thing reminds me of a huge criticism I had of the game that really pissed me off. Because it's an adult game, it's mature, there's a lot of blood and violence in it. And we already shit on Disney. We already lost the Disney sponsorship, so I'm going to say it. The Ghost of Tsushima has Disneyfication problem. And what I mean by that is that there are no adults that are fucking in the game.
Yeah.
Nobody has a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a love interest. Nobody. Sensei Ishikawa is literally the freaking like baron or leader of the island. No girlfriend. None.
Zero
I'm working
pussy.
on myself.
The main character, you have this setup with you.
Welcome to Abstinence Island.
You have this setup with
That's
the
Island 4.
with the Yuna character, and there's a couple scenes where I thought it was going to blossom into like a love thing. Like there's literally a scene where she tells you, she's like, "You're all I have in my life, Jin." You know, and then you like hug because you're friends. And I was just like, is every character in this game like gay? Like that, it's fine if you are gay. Have them dating somebody though. Like nobody, no character you meet, no bad guy or good guy.
It's like taking two magnets of the same pole and just like
Yeah, the other sensei you meet. So I said Sensei Ishikawa already, and I meant to say, I guess, Lord Shimura is who I meant to say. He's the whole lord of the island. He doesn't have a girlfriend. Sensei Ishikawa is like a dude in his 60s. No wife or girlfriend. No boyfriend. No nothing. Like, I'm like, what is with this game? This is supposed to be an adult game about adults, but nobody has any sex or romantic love. And I was like, it just throws me off in a story like that. Like,
you just want to jerk off.
no, well, no, like nobody's even horny. Nobody's even like, man.
I played this game for 30 minutes and no one's even fucking yet.
All right, well, you guys can make fun of me or whatever, but I'm trying to say, like,
I think it's a fair point.
I hate it in like these adult products. It's like we got to make this we don't want to put any sex in this game. We don't want to put anybody being horny in this game. And it's like
you can cut a guy's head off, but God forbid.
yes, this is a game where you're decapitating people, cutting off their limbs. You're covered in other people's blood, but like, and so it's supposed to be about adult themes and like, oh, you know, sacrifice and all this, but they don't once touch on like, because they're supposed to be talking about how terrible war is, but they never touch on love or human connection or like, and
how war would impact those.
right. Yeah. Like you see people, you read like little letters that you find around of like families that get separated or killed, but like, that's all peasants. It's none of the characters you talk to in the game. And it's not your character. Like your character is like sad that his dad died like 30 years ago. And you're like, haven't you gotten laid at all? Like since then? You are the lord of the island. Like you don't even have a crush on anybody. Like it just kind of drives me crazy when you have an adult made product, but they wanted to Disneyfy it and be like, well, nobody really, you know, everybody's kind of like, nobody's even into the opposite sex. Like nobody's horny at all.
You know,
like,
I was always debating playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Ray and Kylo Ren can kiss one. Ray and Kylo can kiss one time, but then Kylo has to die.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'm not gonna play Ghost of Tsushima.
There's no boning.
Yeah, no sex.
I will say one last thing.
Even in Ratchet and Clank, Ratchet and Rivet are freaking horny for each other, and everybody that plays Ratchet and Clank is horny for Rivet. So, you know,
right?
Facts, big facts.
Yeah. Well, I want to say the last thing about Ghost before I move on. You talked about like the waypoint thing. I did tweet this, so sorry to repeat my tweet, but that is probably the best example of like a diegetic like waypoint in video games.
Yeah.
That's a big problem I think a lot of game designers are trying to solve, particularly open world games, is how to create a waypoint marker that is organic. Like GTA is a great example because think about when you're driving in GTA, 70 to like 80% of the time you're driving, you're looking at your mini map. And you're not looking about the background, and like the building is just obstacles for you to drive around, and it's really not engaging. So to have that where it's like, you know, it's very clear where you're going and you don't need like waypoints or anything is such a huge, like, awesome design decision. Obviously it's not going to work for GTA. Yeah, it's not going to work for GTA, but that's like a really nice workaround that I give a lot of credit
I thought
for.
it was pretty good. Yeah.
So that was like a big name game. Like when it came out, that had like, oh my God, it's going to be like one of the biggest games ever. There is, like, out of all the like super big games that came out, there's so many that I just did not give a shit about. What was like the biggest name game that you did not play or just gave a shit about? I think mine had to be
the new God of War.
I think mine had to be Overwatch. Just never cared or
that's
got
a
into
good
it.
one.
Yeah, I just never.
I never got into Overwatch.
We tried
either.
so hard.
I mean, I would say that we were into it for a time. Like, I really like Overwatch. At a certain point, it's one of those games you have to keep playing. Once you stop, you can't go back.
Yeah.
Because you're like, we would be excited
I wanna
about
be
patches. Fuck you.
I don't even know the characters. Like I don't even think I ever played the game, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good game. Blizzard kind of is like not everyone's good graces right now, but Overwatch 2 is like, they announced Overwatch 2 like a year ago, and it's probably like in very early planning stages because they were trying to get heat off them for like the Taiwan shit or whatever. But
they got a lot more than that going on too, like Blizzard.
Hey, I'm stoked. The new Halo is going to be coming out soon.
the beta was really good.
I liked it. Yeah.
That's something that we gotta
I've been
talk
seeing
about.
clips on YouTube, and I'm like, this game, it doesn't look terrible. I'm ready. What I'm saying is, I'm ready to get my heart broke again.
I was expecting
I was expecting
to play a trash game that was nowhere near ready, but me and Mike played that game like the entire weekend.
It looks good.
Yeah,
What I've
Gears
seen of
Judgment
it.
is really good.
It's one of the best betas I've ever played because it worked.
Yeah.
Which is compared to the Battlefield beta, which was like a disaster.
Yeah, that's a whole
That's a different
side of the
conversation.
coin.
press A to start. I pressed A. It wouldn't start.
Yeah. Well, and it was a beta that I was legitimately like, wow, I want to dedicate my free time to playing this because I don't know when I'll get another chance to.
Funny Battlefield, like I saw it as like a meme on Reddit, but like I think it's a funny problem that Battlefield has is they went to the direction of like those unique operators. There's like a scene where, you know how it gives you the kill cam when you die, it'll like show you, it'll zoom in on the person that killed you.
Mm-hmm.
There was someone posted on Reddit, like he died, he got shot like in the back and it zooms behind him and it's just like 10 different like Russian guys, like all clones of each other, just like standing in the doorway. And it's like, that's my problem with Battlefield. It's like every time we see a cool trailer or something like that, we get like pretty hyped up for it. And it's like 2 steps forward and like 3
Till I
steps
collapse,
back.
I'm spilling these fraps. Long as you.
Yeah.
So Battlefield 2042 is actually like, I
the beta
couldn't.
did not help them.
No, that
But-
game is not ready.
Yeah, but Halo, there's a lot of creativity. Like the new, like I don't know what you would call them, equipment. Like the grapple works is super fun. You can do all kinds of fun
There's
shit.
like a grapple. There's like a repulsor thing.
That's fun, and that's stuff that you get easily.
And there's a little deployable
not-
shield.
Yeah.
thing.
The problem with like Halo 4 and 5 is they added all that shit and it went kind of overboard. Like this way, it's still limited. It's like the same way you'd get a bubble shield in Halo 3.
Halo 4, I honestly feel like the biggest problem with that game is they turned away from the Covenant and they tried to bring in the new enemy, the Prometheans, and the Prometheans like are just lame.
But they
Yeah.
suck.
They're just a flat no. Like when I play the campaign on that game, it's just not the same as fighting the Covenant. There's all these different enemies, and the Covenant are funny. Like they do funny shit, and elites piss you off because they run around and like
There's a lot of-
kick your ass, and
Like the Covenant has a lot of character in them.
Yeah.
The Prometheans
It's
were
very
just,
unique.
Yeah.
For like an enemy faction.
the Prometheans were just like paper copies
it's
of
a
like
robot.
the same enemy type.
You're fighting 3 different types of robot, and it's like, you either got the dog ones or the big knight ones, and it's like, this just sucks. And they put the Promethean weapons like in the game, and no one wants to use that shit.
I've beaten Halo 4 like 2 or 3 times. I do not know who the Prometheans are. I have no relation
And
with them.
it's another
just-
like little kid fucking thing where it's like, well, the Promethean weapons don't disintegrate you. I know it looks like you're getting disintegrated, but you're getting digitized and put into like the library computer, and it's like, Okay.
I didn't know that, and I didn't care to know that.
Yeah.
Can I tell my Halo story?
No, hold on.
Shut
They
up.
totally.
I need to tell my Halo
You
story.
don't play Halo, so it totally.
Yeah, Matt screen peek this one time.
They also completely botched like that campaign by making the story so complicated and ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like they retconned like humans being the Forerunners, which is such a huge part of the first 3 games. They're like, psych, here's the Forerunners. And then I remember if you're playing the Halo 4 campaign, the Didact shows up
The
and
Dodecron.
yeah, and they're like, they're like,
Dodecahedron.
oh shit, it's the Didact, and you're sitting there, you're
The
like, I don't
Dedicron.
know who the fuck this guy is. Like, I was a huge Halo nerd. I read like all those early books up till like Cole Protocol, and
Me
I
and
remember
Brendan, before Mike left for the army, we were playing through
Yeah.
Halo 4 together.
Yeah.
We just have like random names for the
every-
Didacrone or whatever.
It sucks. You get to the Didact and you're like, who the fuck is this guy? And then the librarian is trying to tell you like stuff, and she pulls you into like heaven. And so like the chief is like removed from a bad situation. She pulls you into like heaven, and she's like, Master Chief, you're the chosen one. I need to explain this to you. And you're like, the Master Chief is not the chosen one. Like, he's just a dude. And
It cheapens everything he does.
yeah,
At
yeah.
that point, he should have just been
And-
like, were it so easy.
Yeah, and they're like, you now have the mantle of responsibility. And they harp on that so much. And then the 5th Halo game, they marketed that as like, the Master Chief's gone rogue. He doesn't have Cortana anymore. And you're going to have our new Spartan. This is your new best friend that you're going to have to hang out with, Spartan Locke. And so you know all those fun adventures you had when you were 12 with Master Chief? Well, get ready because we're killing him and we're giving you a stepdad, Spartan Locke. And your stepdad's going to kill your old dad and you're going to hate it. And so you play as Spartan Locke and then you play as Master Chief for like a couple missions. And the Halo 5 campaign, you have a boss battle. There's like 5 boss battles and they're all against the same boss.
Yeah.
They're all against the Warden Eternal. He just keeps coming back. And the last time you fight him, you fight 3 of him at one time. And,
How original.
And I was like, this is
Perfect
the
encapsulation.
yeah, I was like, this is like the worst thing I've ever played. And then the multiplayer, the last thing I'll say, I'm sorry. I know I'm going on. I'm into Halo, so
Yeah.
but
It hits close to home.
the last thing I want to say was the multiplayer is they made it so like it was insecure about itself. Like it wanted to be like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
It was in like the pandemic of loot boxes too.
Oh god, and
Yeah.
that the Advanced Warfare phase of like online gaming, I feel like was my least favorite phase, where every single game, like Titanfall came out and Titanfall was a good game, and every single game was like, let's do that, but like way more obnoxious. So like everybody's got a grav boot where you can run on the fucking wall and the ceiling,
And a booster, you
and
can shift.
a booster so you can like and you know every gun is like not the guns you're used to. It's all these new made up ones, and it's just like oh,
That's
man.
like the other plague of game
They
design.
added it so you can aim down the sights of every gun in Halo, and I was like, this is not what
That's like
Halo
that's
is.
the plague of like the
What a
corporate-
crime.
Yeah.
It's like the corporate side of game design where it's like, oh, this works, so let's obviously put it in
Yeah,
our
let's
game.
just steal it and put it in our game.
And then like Halo just lost its own identity.
And they added that terrible like the ground pound feature where you jumped up
Yeah.
and you froze in the middle of the air and a circle appeared and you had a couple seconds to like direct the circle where you wanted to go, and then you hit like B and your guy came down and like punched the ground, and I was like, what's your guy doing in the air doing that? Like he's got like little jet thrusters holding him up, and I'm like, they've never had that on like the Spartan armor and stuff
I
like
appreciate
that.
them
Like,
taking risks, and I honestly liked some of the changes they made in 5, but I think that I may have gone a little far in a few places. and as for the campaign, like I think that they should have had a dichotomy between Locke and Chief, where
Oh, yeah.
on the Locke missions you would be in a squad, you'd have all these abilities, whereas Chief would be by himself and be more limited.
But instead, yeah,
he has his own fucking team. Like, who are these people?
they bring back 3 people from like the original trilogy books that they wrote that have never been mentioned in the games. So like when Fred, Linda, and Kelly showed up, like I knew who they were, but I was like, where the fuck have they been this whole time? Because they've been alive since for as long as Master Chief, and I'm thinking like, where have they been this whole time? Like, remember when Chief
could have used you on Earth?
Yeah, remember when Chief was hopping from like arc to arc because like the Prophet of Regret's trying to destroy the galaxy, and Chief's like, Cortana's like, Chief, we're running out of time, and he's like in a warthog, and he's like, oh shit. It's like, what were Fred, Linda, and Kelly doing that was more important? Where they were hanging out at base, and they're like, so
how do you think Chief's doing?
How do you think Chief's doing right now? Sucks to be him. I'm sure someone's going to tell me in the comments that they wrote 40 books explaining what Fred, Linda, and Kelly were doing. They've come out with so many Halo books now that I'm like, put those in a burn pile. That's what those are for. Yeah. So that was my Halo piece. Do you want to tell your story?
Here's my Halo story, and everyone is going to shut up for it because you're all going to immediately start trying to jump on me as soon as I start telling it.
Oh, now I'm ready.
It's so easy.
I think it's a boring game.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
But
I went and bought Halo 3 around when it came out. Never played a Halo game in my life. So I popped the disc in, install it. I'm like, I keep hearing good things about this series. And then load the game up, jump into the campaign. I'm the Master
Chief.
Yeah. I'm the Master Chief. And then I run up and I'm like, oh man, I hear so many there's like elites in this game, and there's like badass like sniper rifles and shit. You can, one shot people. And then these little purple things come out, these little tiny enemies, and they're I just peed my pants. Oh my god.
Grunts.
And I'm like, and they're like, oh my god, I just pooped my pants now. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then I get
basically every grunt dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. I guess that's the grunt. And I play like 30 minutes. Like, I just peed my pants. I'm pooping now. This game sucks.
So
I wouldn't say it's that bad.
Yeah, I would say that's a gross exaggeration. Number one. Number two,
I've never done that.
Fuck you. Hope you die. No.
The brutes too.
Like the brutes too. Oh, he peed his pants.
Yeah, I love Lucas's criticisms. You can make those about any game. Yeah, the enemies were like, oh, and I'm the Master Chief. Like, shut the fuck up. Hate you.
Goddamn.
Well, I know it
I'm
would have
mad.
been.
I'm
I know it would have
pissed.
been the first level of Halo because I have an entire video on this channel dedicated to how good the first level is.
Thank you. And I want the record to show people that I've sat down and tried to play Halo with Lucas, and Lucas proceeded right from the get-go. We're on the first level of Halo 1, and he goes, I'm only doing the pistol.
Oh, we had to put it on Legendary first.
No, we didn't put it on Legendary. We put it on normal. We were playing through on normal.
I swear we were on.
We were not on Legendary because you would have died. Because you suck at the game. No. He's like, I'm only doing pistol. Like, he went out of his way to make sure we weren't having a good time. And then
Greg, is the pistol not like the strongest weapon in Combat Evolved?
I'm not acknowledging.
I'm not. So, did I say we stopped playing when you said you were going to only use the pistol? No, we played through Cairo Station, but Lucas decided, I'm going to kill every Marine we come across. And I was like, I wish.
Greg, are the Marines not douchebag in Combat Evolved?
Well, not in Combat Evolved, but I think I'm sitting next to a douchebag Marine right now.
He goes, I'm gonna kill every ally we come across. So he's shooting every ally. He's shooting.
I'm pooping now.
Every ally we come across, and I was like, okay, fine. We beat Cairo Station. We get to Halo. It gets to the part where
I think you're.
You mean Pillar of Autumn?
no. Pillar of Autumn. Yeah, you're right. We beat Pillar. We beat Pillar of Autumn. We get to Halo, and iconic level of the Halo series. And don't you fucking
the fuck
shoot
are you
that
doing?
at me.
Oh my god.
And the and he goes,
You're a fucking idiot.
they dropped the Warthog for the first part. You know, when you first get to climb into a Warthog and go rescue the Marines or whatever. So he's doing the pistol and the Marine shenanigans, and I'm fine with it. We're still playing. I'm like, I'm playing with a child. It's okay. We get in the Warthog, and I go,
Gross.
okay, do you want to get on the gun? Is it a pistol? No. All right, well, then I'm not getting on it. Do you want to drive? No, I'm going to get in the passenger with the pistol. And that's when I shut the game off and was like, okay, well, you could have left a Marine alive to be on our gunner seat, but since you didn't, fuck you. We're not playing this anymore. So
Sounds worse than playing with me.
Turn into Zenu
it was
games.
much worse.
Tune into Zenu games to see my pistol only, no Marine Halo 1 run through.
Then you can't play.
If it sounds like I'm genuinely angry, I am. I'm very upset.
See, I've been playing real games lately, like Kerbal Space Program.
Yeah. Tell us about what time are we at, Brandon?
We're hour 15 minutes.
Okay.
Mine is
Want to
like
give it
4.
like 15 more?
Sure.
Go ahead. You give it.
So there's
You guys keep going. I'm gonna take a pic. Talk about Kerbal.
Hey, Kerbal's badass. So there's this game called Kerbal Space Program, and I know Brendan here's on the same boat with me. Been fascinated by space since I was a kid. And they present it as like, there's these little cartoony characters, look like overcooked characters. And it's like, oh yeah, you can build your own spaceships, go into space, travel around, land on the moon and stuff. So I was like, oh, this game sounds like sweet. So I download it, install it, always wanted to try it. Hardest fucking game I've ever played in my life. Yeah. You build your like space shuttle, you're spending like 30 minutes like trying to like, you have your center of gravity inside your space station or a space shuttle. You're trying to balance it perfectly as you're preparing your proper
You're
heat
flexing
shields.
your elder brain, trying to like figure out the math.
I legitimately had like a notebook in front of me and I was doing like equations. And then I finally get my space shuttle built. I blast off into space and I like, you're calculating your different orbits around, trying to use your burn times to like make sure you end up in this planet's orbit so then you could try to land on it. You got to make sure you have enough fuel. And like, I'm ripping my fucking hair out trying to play this game. And then, you complete this mission, you get like surface samples from the moon and stuff, and you take back off. And then, you're heading back for, it's called Kerbin is Earth in that game. And, you're doing your re-entry and you didn't put enough heat shield on. So your entire mission is just fucked. You blow up upon re-entry and you're just like, come on, man. Like, but whenever it's like, it's one of those games you spend like 6 hours planning this mission and you get it. And then you get so annoyed, like halfway
the littlest
through.
thing goes wrong.
Yeah, little things keep going on that you messed up, you didn't do properly. But then the one time you make that landing, your pod comes down, the parachute deploys, and you land, and you're like, oh my God, this is... Come in the room. Yeah. Come in the room. Look.
I'm the smartest man alive. I was joking with you earlier. I'm like, you turn to your dog and you're like, you could never do that. You could never do that. That's right. That's why I feed you. You could never do that.
Seriously, one of the hardest learning curves ever in a game. Hands down. Did you guys ever like play the game?
I never played it. I've heard it for the first time from you. Did you play it, Brendan?
Yeah. I played it, but I was already a physics major before that, so
you need to play the game.
Yeah, I didn't have that difficulty.
Nice.
I think a part of it, I played the science mode where you have to unlock stuff. So you start with like the bare bones, like, a bottle rocket is like your first rocket. And then you have to like build up a level of science to unlock stuff.
That would be, it'd be fun if we did something where like we tried to launch a rocket and Brendan had to tell us what to do.
Yeah.
That would be really fun.
I won't tell you what.
Brendan is blindfolded and we have to build a rocket based off his
Oh, yeah, dude, that's a good idea. Watch out for that video.
What I miss.
We were just talking about that space game.
Yeah, you
Olivia Munn or whatever.
Kerbal's cool, but try getting a degree in Kerbal.
Hey, apparently I looked up Elon Musk actually tweeted at the people who made the Kerbal Space Program game asking for real life help with one of his rockets. So, it's based in reality apparently.
Yeah. Kerbal gets physics good.
So I was in my closet the other day too, and I wanted to bring this up. And I was like,
you finally came out of there.
Oh no! I was sorting through my closet, standing outside of it, and I was
okay,
like,
Lucas, I'm proud of you.
I'm pooping my pants now. And I was gonna grab a hoodie, and I find this one in the side of my closet, and I take it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I haven't seen this hoodie. It is a relic from our teenage years. It is the hoodie where the pocket has the little aux cord in it, and the hoodie strings have the earbuds in it. And I was just like, this is so stupid. Like, looking back at it now, but I thought it was so cool back then. Like, how dumb did you look with like hoodie strings in your ears?
That's incredible.
Is there any relics you guys can remember?
Also, you could listen to like Slipknot or Disturbed in like the middle of geometry class.
Oh, that's all that comes through those things.
You're like,
yeah, the teach won't catch on.
yeah.
Well, I love two things. First, that was the first time I realized I gave a shit about sound quality, because the sound quality on those
Was bad.
horrible. Like, I'm not like a sound fiend or anything, but you listen to that as a kid and you're like, oh wow, for a kid that's bad. The other thing is, like, you first thought it was like, oh, that's a really smart invention. But then you realize, like, nobody,
but is it really?
Nobody puts their like drawstrings in their ears already. So you just look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Is it still? I don't want to kick off an old man meme here or whatever, but I was trying to think of fashion trends that were going on when we were like in high school.
Did you guys ever have Heelys?
I was
So
I was waiting.
So Heelys got banned from our school because a girl had them and she tripped and broke her arm during recess.
Ate shit. I
don't want to say her.
term.
I don't want to say her name on here, but I was like, you would know her.
They got banned at the mall for similar reasons.
Yeah.
Well, did I tell you guys there was like a flea market like in like the Pittsburgh area, and it's like in this abandoned movie theater. It's weird, but on the sign out front it says like, no Heelys permitted.
That's incredible. What a relic.
When was that a
what
problem?
a relic of the time.
Can you
When
still
was the
buy
last
those?
time? Yeah, you
Really?
can. Yeah.
Let's all get Heelys.
And I was trying to think of this is the meme. Is sagging your pants still a thing? Like,
I still see people do it.
kids still do that?
Some
I see
pants
it,
are built
like-
with a sag.
Are they?
I see it when we were like young, like the hip hop. I
Because
think
that was super in like the hip hop rap.
yeah,
look.
like influence.
Yeah.
I think it was like oversized baggy. I see a lot of skinny jeans that people like don't pull up all the way
Okay.
now. As like I don't know if that's the thing.
It's evolved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the day I pulled up my pant. Like I did that in like 7th grade. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna sag my pants a little bit. You know,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
yeah.
hip and cool.
Yeah.
And your whole ass is hanging out. And there was just that one day where I was just like, this is dumb. And then I
Like,
pulled up
it's
my
kinda-
pants and never pulled them back.
Yeah,
down.
I was like, this kind of itches a little bit. My ass is itchy on these seats. Yeah,
Well, you had to wear the belt too, and you had to like pull it super tight so your pants wouldn't fall down.
yeah. What other great fashion trends do we have?
Every now Deadliest Warrior, you got the tap out. You got.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
People still wear that.
Yep.
I haven't seen one in a very long
Yeah,
time.
it's
Well, they got
it's
bought
rare.
out by Venom now. Is like
That
the
is
new
very
MMA
true.
brand.
Jeff DeMolin. I'm breaking the rules here, but he has a very his style reminds me very much of like Dane Cook. Do you remember how Dane Cook used to dress with like the stylish jeans and like the like Affliction t-shirt or whatever? Yeah.
I walk in and I was like, oh, I'm Dane Cook.
Dane, a relationship. I call that a relationship.
Yo, Matt knows no one can touch my Dan Cook impression.
That's true. Craig does have a wonderful Dane Cook.
Brendan, get the laugh track ready.
No, it's a Dane Cook show.
I need to be in the right circumstance. Yeah, it's okay.
No, that literally is a line from one of the Dane Cook stand-ups where he goes, "I was in a bad relationship. I call that a relationship." And he's in
crazy.
He's in like a football stadium, and it like erupts with laughter. Like people are like, "This is the funniest thing I've ever heard anybody say."
Do you remember Jeff Dunham with the puppets
Yeah.
too? It was
Yeah.
like super big.
That's
for a
another
while.
one where when it was out, it was like, oh, this is the funniest shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
this is great. And you're like, you watch it now. This is the most racist fucking thing I've ever seen.
I just remember, Jeff Dunham. He's like, this one's name is Peanut.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
this one's
one's-
Senor Jalapeno.
this one's Billy Bob. Billy Bob has he's married to his cousin or whatever.
Well,
and it-
see, he makes fun of white people, so it's
and
okay.
it's like, man, that's
At this
funny.
point, I don't even want to say the Middle Eastern one. Like,
Oh yeah, Hawkmed the terrorist.
just so low hanging fruit
Yeah.
on all of his puppets.
I just remember Walter was like, I think that was the old guy.
grumpy
where he
old
just
man.
go, dumbass.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that goes to show you, it's like you can make jokes. You don't have to be at someone else, a group of people's expense.
Yeah, you don't have to be a dirty comedian. You can just be racist.
Yeah.
So, besides Halo coming out, we got some other games coming out that I'm excited about. Far Cry 6 today,
Okay.
I believe,
Yeah.
came out, which I harped on the Far Cry series,
got
and
a
I just
pop-up.
recently got into it.
I went to update Unreal Engine because Zenu Games is a game dev company on the side, but I kept getting pop-ups for Far Cry 6. And I was like, is that Today? Like,
Yeah.
And it's the dude from Breaking Bad, right? Too.
Yeah.
Giancarlo Esposito
Yeah.
or something. Is that his
Yep.
last name?
yeah.
Where he had that like chicken restaurant.
Los Polos Hermanos.
Well, speaking of chickens, this is controversial.
Oh, I saw you
Yeah.
tweeted about this.
There's a cockfighting mini game that's like Tekken, and
in
it's
Far Cry.
in Far Cry
But
6.
you play as like a chicken fighting another chicken. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's like kind of fucked up.
Your point about that was so good, where it was like people are saying this is like okay, but imagine if it was a dog fighting mini game.
Yeah.
People would be freaking out. Everybody that loved Jeff Dunham was like wanted to put Michael Vick to death. I remember,
Yeah.
because of the dog. And I'm obviously not saying that stuff was cool. I was just saying like. It is funny though that like it's because it's a chicken or a rooster or whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck that thing.
Yeah, it's
I
like,
eat chickens, you know.
it's like stop being such a pussy.
Yeah, they,
like,
they
okay.
can fight.
So I'll probably be picking that up maybe tomorrow. Some other games, Destroy All Humans 2 Remaster got announced officially the other day.
got
So
announced.
the remake of Destroy All Humans 1 was phenomenal.
I'm
Love
straight
that.
up. I'm waiting for. I can Google this, but I haven't. I'm assuming it's coming out this fall. Is the Lego Star Wars
Yeah,
Skywalker?
it's not even like a remake. It's like a total
Yeah, it's a new-
everyally.
it's like a new game.
They
Yeah,
announced that,
actually want
forever
that.
ago too.
It got delayed, I
but
think.
I think
Yeah.
it's supposed to come out this fall, isn't it? Or
I don't know.
We'll have
maybe
to check
not.
that out.
We'll fact check it. Jamie, pull that up.
Also
Think James
coming
going to
out,
be there tomorrow?
At the Joe Rogan show, maybe. He'll be running the lights.
Stevo had Scott Randolph.
You might sit next to him or something.
He'll be like, I'll hear him. He'll be
You
like,
wouldn't know what he looks like though. 'Cause he's never
so
on
is this your
camera.
first time going on the show? Just like saying Joe Rogan show? Yes, Jamie.
Alex Jones will be there tomorrow.
November 9th, also Jurassic World Evolution 2 comes
Okay.
out. I was a huge fan. That's another Frontier
First
game.
game's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went back and I 5-starred every island. Just
I gotta play it
recently.
more. I also have like Jurassic Park like expansion. I haven't
Yeah,
even
they had
touched.
the Return to Jurassic Park. They had Island of Dr. Wu and Claire's Sanctuary were like the add-ons. All pretty good. And that whole game, it's a very like you pick up that game and it's definitely different from every other like Frontier game. Like you either like this game or you don't. I guess with like the formula. It's kind of like I don't want to say more of a bare bones like Park Simulator formula, but
It's not exactly like Planet Coaster Boat with dinosaurs. Or Planet Zoo. It's
Yeah.
different.
it's a different like game style, and I ended up like falling in love with the style. So I'm actually like really looking forward to that. And
Also-
Katie promised to buy it for me, so Katie, thanks.
Also, Back for Blood comes out this week. That's
That does that? Yeah.
Are we getting that?
yeah, it's on Game Pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I am
So, yeah.
I'm really excited for
Download
it.
We'll test it.
Every
but-
time we go back to Left 4 Dead, I get so fucking happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That used to be like my number
Dude,
one.
that
game.
was an
I
OG.
love that fucking game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
that
excited
was-
for Back for Blood?
I heard some mixed things about it. I'm really excited to try it though.
That was an OG game that we would all play together in high school. That was
Yeah.
like circa 10th grade. We would all get in a lobby
Plenty
and
of
play
good memories.
the original Left 4 Dead together. And
the versus mode.
the
was-
versus
yeah.
mode was so much fun where I loved when we were the zombies, we were the king. Like we would fuck
Ruining
people,
someone's day.
Yeah, we would fuck people over so hard. And like as soon as we got the tank, we knew it was over. It's like, all right, these guys, I got no idea what's coming.
I was a
God.
good charger. I remember.
I was the only, maybe you guys can remember this. I was like the only person that did a good job and really enjoyed being the boomer, the fat one.
You just have to listen to.
Yeah.
Okay, Boomer.
And no one wanted to be the boomer because the other ones were cooler. But I was like, I kind of loved being the boomer because you could just sit back. I would find strategic spots to throw up on people, and the key was just to get away.
Yeah.
So you could throw up on them again. Like, because nothing more irritating than when you're trying to beat the mission and like boomer gets you all. And then you have to fight off a bunch of zombies for like 20 minutes. And then it as soon as it ends, I show back up again. It just gets you all again.
Is that if you could stay alive, that cooldown makes it worth it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A good boomer goes a long way.
Yeah.
Even if you do get shot and blow up, you still cover the people and shit too.
I'm just harassing
I-
people the whole damn game.
I was definitely born to be a hunter, though.
Oh, Dan, that is.
Dan, you are the incarnation of the jockey.
Yeah, Left 4 Dead
jockey.
2.
Do you remember
Yeah.
Left for Speed, that parody video?
Yes.
That they
Some good old fashioned cola.
good old fashioned cola.
But yeah, at least at the end of the day for Back for Blood, if it's not good, there's nothing lost for us.
Yeah.
Hey, we can kick back out. Let's do a Let's Play in Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah, if it's good, maybe we can do a Back for Blood Let's Play.
A
or
Let's
something.
Play. Yeah, that's what everyone fucking calls
Yeah.
it. So I did that Jurassic Park video too, and the new game's coming out, so I'm probably gonna do some videos in that. We saw you out there in the comments saying more Jurassic Park stuff. I'm gonna try to get these guys to do maybe like a one-off Jurassic Park podcast, possibly, that I want to do.
Maybe just a video, yeah.
But you know,
We
that
can go
has
through the most iconic scene in all of Jurassic Park. Alan.
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 I think it'll be fun to just sit down and talk about
Lucas,
the movies.
edit that clip right here in this.
Alan.
Where the Velociraptor turns and is like, Alan.
I do love me some Jurassic Park.
Oh, I'm like, you can ask Matt. I'm one of the biggest Jurassic Park fans.
Yeah.
Should I get all of the dinosaur books I had when I was a kid out here?
What is your
yeah.
favorite dino?
Therizinosaurus.
Favorite dinos?
I mean, I'm going to go basic bitch here, but just based on those movies, the T-Rex, baby. Gotta go
Does
T-Rex.
water count?
Sure.
Mosasaur.
I'm gonna say from the ride Dinosaur at Disney's Animal Kingdom, Carnotaurus.
That's nice. I gotta say that I gotta go with the bitch move too with the T-Rex. I've just been obsessed.
Oh,
since I was
you
a
love
kid.
dinosaurs, and what's your favorite dinosaur?
I
The
like
T-Rex.
I like
Because the T-Rex is badass. I mean, there's the Gigantosaurus.
look.
There's like the other ones that are like the
I like the
Spino.
Therizinosaurus was a giant turkey with like 3-foot claws.
What's that?
It was a giant turkey with 3-foot claws.
The T-Rex?
Therizinosaurus.
Oh, okay. I
Like,
was
how
gonna
could
say,
how could you beat that?
That is pretty cool. And by the way, I'm not even talking about the real T-Rex. I'm talking about the Steven Spielberg T-Rex that rips down the sign and roars at the end of the first one.
I like
He's
You could
the.
say if you say you like the Raptors, like Jurassic Park
Dude, the
Raptors are not.
But
I'm
they
sorry,
got
they're
they
not
have
real.
feathers now. Now they
The
came
real,
dumb as shit.
The Raptors are fucking scary.
The real raptors that they use in the motto, it's like the Albertosaurus or something similar to that, is what the actual thing
Dude,
that they show in the movie. They call it
Velociraptors from
Velociraptors.
Jurassic Park scared the crap out of me as a little kid, and yeah, they're terrifying, man.
They got feathers though.
Right. Well, I don't even see them as that. I see them as like the movie version. So
They're like gay velociraptors.
If you added feathers onto those
Nothing wrong
things,
with
I don't
being
think it
gay.
would be any less terrifying.
No, I like that. I like the what is the Jurassic World made up
It's
dinosaur?
a Utah Raptor.
Oh, I was not even
It's
close
like
at all.
it's in the Universal ride at Hollywood.
wait, the Utah Raptor.
Yeah, that's the.
Do you think?
I think that's what the.
Do you think any Utah Raptors migrated south enough to get to Sedona?
So the raptors in the movie are the real dinosaur that they show is the Dentochus.
Deinonychus.
Thank you, Brandon. That is like what they actually show, but the real velociraptors were like the size of
The
turkeys.
When you
Gal-
say Utah Raptor, I kind of picture like this Mormon Velociraptor.
The Utah Raptors are like a basketball team.
Dum, 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 dum.
Well, I thought it was the
Toronto.
Toronto.
Dum, dum, dum.
Is
But it does sound like a basketball team, the Utah Raptors.
Yeah.
So
Utah
Jurassic
Jazz,
World,
I'm sorry.
Jurassic World had
Toronto Raptors.
a fantastic lead who raised those raptors. Am I right? And he is also going to be starring in a new movie that's coming out.
This needs to be the last thing we talk about.
That's fair.
Chris Pratt and Mario.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think people have unrealistic expectations for what this movie is going to be. I think people think it's going to be an official entry into the Mario canon, and they're like, "Well, I didn't have Steve Martinet or whoever," and it's like it's going to be like the fucking Emoji Movie. That's what they're going for.
Is Adam
Like,
Driver playing Waluigi?
I don't think that's I think someone made that
He's
up
like,
on.
I need you to help me.
He's like, good soup.
Wow,
I
I
think
need you to help me.
I think. Hold on, wait. I think I fucked up Mario's name. I think it's Charles Martinet.
So I just want to say, like,
Yes.
my reaction to that was that everybody's like, oh, a Mario movie, and here's the cast. And I thought it was like a live action, and I was interested. And I was like, oh, yeah, that casting's very memeable. But I'll
Wait, you see the poster is Mario doing the Chris Pratt like a Velociraptor, and he's like, you know, that would be the movie poster.
Well, I was like, okay, I'm going to go see this because even if the casting sucks, it's Mario. I don't care about like the story. Like,
Dude, don't you care about the Mario canon?
I am sorry, but I do not. I don't care about the Mario canon. All the stories are the same.
But that 90s movie was so good.
And I thought you got Anya Taylor-Joy playing Princess Peach, and I thought, well, she got cast because she looks like Princess Peach kind of. And then I found out it's an animated movie and these people are all voices, and I thought what Craig just said, is immediately what I went to is like, oh, this is just the Emoji Movie.
Yeah.
Like then they're just bringing on a bunch of big name celebrities so that people will come see this. And I was like, I don't care. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
That Emoji Movie came out and I never heard another thing about it.
Yeah.
Like it just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Patrick Stewart played the poop emoji, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's incredible. They got
That's all that I know
they
about
got
that
Sir
movie.
Patrick Stewart to play the fucking poop emoji.
So I got a final note here that I just wanted to add in that I found this week.
4 hours of Big Bang Theory. 8 episodes in a row.
I'm a huge fan of like what are the cheapest things you can buy online. And I bought one of the cheapest dirt bikes online from China.
Okay.
And I found this week you can buy a car called the Changli. Brendan, I can see you can see it. So I'm going to go over to Matt and Dan here.
Okay.
How much do you think this Chinese car, you can order off Alibaba.com.
It's in Changli.
The Changli. It is an all-electric car. It is like street legal. Up to
$1,300 American dollars.
Less
than that.
800.
more.
I have a guess.
1,000 American
Less.
dollars.
I'm gonna say $930.
It is $930. You can own a car.
That screen.
You can own a technically street legal car mail ordered to your house from China. Isn't that insane?
Is it
That's
Prime? Is it on
incredible.
Prime?
Can I see the picture of this thing?
I can pull it up real
Do they
quick.
have a picture of
We're going to
it?
be doing a Zenu Games review once we order one.
We're gonna order one. And
Imagine if you need to make an appointment with the mechanic. Like, yeah, I'd like to get a mechanic to look at my 2020 Changli.
Well, if it's coming from China, the shipping is probably more expensive than the car.
Just an auto rickshaw.
Lucas, can you point it over here?
So what it looks like,
Oh boy.
for those of you,
Yeah,
for
my
those of
mic's
you like
tied in.
watching and listening at home.
I'll put a picture on the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, because it reminds me of those little toy cars that kids
Nice.
have.
I
where
will pull it up on
where
Alibaba.
their
You can see the price.
Their feet stick through like the ground and they can just walk it around.
It
except
looks
it's
like
a
something
car.
that would be called the Changli.
The world's cheapest electric car. Wow,
It's got a 1-star review. There is the $930 with the
that is
$1,200
incredible.
package right off. Whatever.
How much is shipping?
I have no idea. I imagine a lot of those, like my dirt bike, ship for free from.
Really?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
you can.
We need to buy a Changli and just drive it off something high. Like rig it up and drive it off like a
Yeah, we
bridge.
could have a lot of fun with the Changli.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're paying $900 for a car. So what do you expect?
Oh,
from
shit.
it?
First car was a Changli.
If that thing breaks down, it's like, why even take it to the mechanic?
throw
I'll
it out.
I'll just buy a new Changli.
It runs off of. It's an electric car and it runs off batteries that
can like use your iPhone charger.
the engine that like the motor, the electric motor that drives it is a washing machine motor.
Oh, it's incredible.
Goes up to 25 miles an hour.
Oh, only I was gonna say, how much speed does that? Can you imagine going up the hill and you like pull out in front of somebody? You're like, time for me to gun it.
Yeah, that thing,
You're probably doing like 8 miles an
like-
hour.
that thing was meant for the
You gotta,
streets
like,
of
put a couple-
Beijing, not the roads of PA.
You got to put a couple quarters in it to go. That's awesome.
I'm gonna do a thing real quick
The
too.
Changli.
Oh, it's not gonna work because my my search history is skewed.
Wait, so did you order one?
What
go
is
on,
that?
go on like
Go on
Edge.
incognito mode.
Or,
Wait,
yeah,
what
go on
is-
incognito. Go on Edge.
What does that say about Rivet? Rule what?
Oh goodness gracious, Lucas!
Oh,
That
man.
search history.
Oh, don't update my browser settings.
I peed my pee.
it
It says yum poo.
Yahoo.com.
All right, I'm gonna type in Deadliest Warrior on a fresh Google thing over here. I want Dan or Matt to tell me what the top search term is.
It's our podcast.
It is not.
Wait, for what?
The top search term.
This is just a little game here. Yeah. What is the number one search
Deadliest
term?
Warrior Wiki.
No. Till one of you gets it. Or till I stop caring.
It probably just says Deadliest Warrior.
No.
TV show.
No.
Episode.
Technically,
What do
Deadliest
you-
Warrior is the number one.
do
Well,
you
that's what you typed in.
Episode.
What do you have typed in?
Deadliest Warrior.
And autocorrect after that is that what we're guessing?
Yeah, like whatever comes up after that.
Season 1.
No.
Robert Daly.
No.
Episodes.
Close.
Deadliest Warrior episodes.
There's a word in there.
Worst episodes.
No.
Best episode.
No.
Episodes list.
It's full episodes.
It was full episodes. Ding, ding, ding. Craig wins the shitty game show.
That was the most fun I've had all night.
All right. Let's wrap this up.
What a zinger.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Pretty Good Podcast number 5.
It's been pretty good chatting with you all.
Check out the shirt that's not available for sale that I'm just wearing.
Let us know if you guys like that shirt.
We
will
got
make
that.
it available.
We got the Pretty Good Podcast shirt up
We
here.
got this shirt we're selling, the Stevo shirt.
Lucas just grabbed a bunch off the rack and ran out.
This will probably be up before Deadliest Warrior, so look forward to IRA versus Taliban.
Yeah.
Then we got a special Deadliest Warrior episode coming out probably like next week or so. It'll be the season 1 recap, and we will be giving away a possibly signed by us copy of Deadliest Warrior season 1 DVD. Details to follow.
Hell yeah.
Any final words, boys?
All I will say is stay frosty out there, people.
Yep, always a pleasure. See you next time.
Bob Chapek, go die in a hole.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Pretty good.